because Wes Craven liked me, he gave me a break. It was really, he gave me a career because of that. I was very lucky.
Me too. Dewey was written as this like big football jock. And I was like, I think I could do something different with him, Wes. And he was like, wow, let me think about it. So yes, he too gave me a career.
I had worked with Wes on, I went out to LA and just moved out there from Chicago. I went out to try it out, and I got a pilot, and I got a TV movie, and I called my wife, and I said, we have to move out here because this is low-hanging fruit. So we moved, the pilot didn't get picked up, the movie came and went, and I had 7 months of nothing. And I'd been doing pretty well in Chicago. Anyway, the same casting director who did the pilot had called and asked for me. And so I went in, they said, they're super secret, it's a Wes Craven project. They're not giving the script out. You have to go to the office to read it. So I have my second favorite scary movie ever is Nightmare on Elm Street. And I did not like some of the sequels. So I didn't know at that time that Wes didn't have anything to do with anything except Dream Warriors. So I go to the office and it says Nightmare 7. And I thought, shit. So I start to read it. It was the first meta horror film before this. So anyway, long story short, I got cast in it in one scene, nice scene. At the end of the night, we're like 3 or 4 in the morning when we wrapped because we shot at a hospital. There's a knock, I'm in the honey wagon, the tiny little dressing room, and there's a knock on my door. I'm like, oh. So I open the door and it's Wes. And he said, hey, I'm so glad Gary pushed for me to hire you. This is really good. Here's my number, let's stay in touch. So that's what led to future movies. And then I got Scary Movies, it was called Scary Movie, which you probably most know, and heard everybody talking about it. So I got a copy and I read it. Honest to God, I didn't see what was special about the script. Like, well, all the plot points fit, But, and a lot of those movies because Kevin and I are the same age, so a lot of the movies that we watched that influenced this film, a lot of them didn't make sense. But anyway, I didn't see it until we got there and we shot it. So that's how I ended up in it, a phone call from Wes. And I called their office and said, hey man, I just read this Scary Movie. And his assistant, Jeff Fenner, at the time, he said, actually, we were talking about you. I think Wes wants you to be the Kenny Cameron, the guy. So that's it.
Yeah. So I took the easy route. And, from the stunt side of the world, you have a stunt coordinator who's the boss. And Tony Caesar, who was the stunt coordinator second unit, he did 18 of Wes's films. Mm-hmm. And I probably did 6 to 8. So I knew Wes, I knew Tony. Tony and I are still in touch to this day, great friends. Families grew up together. And I had a history with Drew, because I worked with Drew on a few other films. And he goes, hey, we got this opening sequence. Why don't you come on up here and let's do this? I'm like, okay, I'm a working stunt guy. So I'm like, yeah, sure. And so that's how I hit Scream 1. Then he brought me back for Scream 2. I did
You worked with Wes prior to that?
Yeah, we did, I think we did
Which
Nightmare.
ones? You did Nightmare?
Right, Nightmare was on that one. People Under the Stairs, like what was
I auditioned for Skeet's role and I didn't get that shit.
Because hashtag.
No, I auditioned for it and they said to me, hey, will you come back in like 3 hours and meet Wes Craven to audition for this other role? Here's 15 pages of lines. Sorry, that kid's killing me. And I jumped in and I did it. And he gave me the job in the room. But the important part is that we were shooting the movie. We talk about hope and how you continue and persevere, which I think is super important, way more important than talking about success. It's like, how do you fucking survive? And so in the movie, we're shooting the movie at one set cell phone, and Wes had the cell phone, and I had to call my mom. It was my mom's birthday. And so I found Wes, and he was talking to Marianne, the producer. He's like, we were just talking about you. I'm like, why? He's like, well, we were just saying that one day you're gonna win the Academy Award. And I said, well, you should call my mom and tell her that. It's her birthday. And you have the only cell phone. And so she did. He picked up the phone, called my mom, and said, someday your son's gonna win Academy Award. So in moments like this, when I haven't worked in a year, and you start to wonder if you're ever gonna work again, you like have to hold on to these little trinkets of confidence. And so for me, Wes Craven, in that moment of like one day you'll win an Academy Award, is the thing that lets you have hope.